Hey out there, everyone in Facebook land and Priestess School. This is DelVecchio coming to you live from Sedona and the Priestess School page virtually. So I am here today to make an apology and also a confession. I know it sounds really dramatic. I apologize. I've been like 3 weeks not making any videos at all. And in a way, I say, like, why am I apologizing? Because another part of me says, like, nobody watches these things anyway. So I want to talk about resistance today, and I want to make a sort of confession or admission or whatever you want to say. I have been in resistance to doing videos, to showing up. This is not my first round of dancing with resistance. And so I just had a really amazing conversation with a sister friend of mine. Hey there. Hi, Moira. With a sister friend of mine about resistance, about following our path, following our soul's blueprint, if you will. That's my language, not hers necessarily. And the way resistance shows up, sometimes looking like divine guidance when it's not. So I don't even know what I'm going to talk about here. I just know that I need to get on this video and I need to start bringing my message across. So I'm going to connect in, but I just feel something needs to come through today about resistance and about the ways we avoid our path of healing and transformation and growing. So let's just see what comes in. So for my personal ownership, the first thing I want to share with you is that one of the ways that, thank you for the love, thank you. One of the ways that my resistance shows up for me is I watch a lot of YouTube videos and I see other teachers, guides, channelers, inspirational leaders sharing valuable insights. And here's the little backstory that goes on in my head. People are already, it's such a noisy marketplace. There's already so many people out there spreading messages that are important who do it so much better than me. What do I have to say? I don't need to go on. People don't need to see me. Nobody's watching this stuff anyway, so I'm too busy today. I don't need to do that. So this is my story of why I sometimes, like, I'll start to do videos regularly. I'll start to put myself out there. I'll receive the guidance and I'll bring it forward. And then all of a sudden I start undermining myself and not showing up. And I'm sharing this because I feel like this is a message that anyone can apply to themselves, whatever it is you are being called to. Perhaps for you, hi Goddess, hi, thank you for sending that email or that message. Perhaps for you, you have a dream to be an artist or a dancer, or you want to leave your job to follow your spirit calling, or you want to travel and have an adventure, or you really, really want to do some deep spiritual work or go on that beautiful retreat, or, fill in the blank, whatever it is for you. And yet you're not doing it. And if you are being pulled or guided to something, and yet the rational mind comes to justify, to say all those really logical reasons why now isn't the time, why there's other things to put in priority, why other people are doing it, you don't need to do that, you don't need to contribute to that. All of that stuff is actually resistance to stepping up and into your more authentic self. So for me, my authentic self is teacher, leader, mentor. That's my authentic self. And there's lots of evidence through my life that when I don't honor that, I suffer. And what's interesting is sometimes we get seeming messages from the outside world that would, what they are they're the saboteur showing up as an ally. So let me give you an example again from my life. I recently started, referring to I was in a conversation with another sister friend about teaching, and she expressed that she was triggered by this word teaching. And I was right away going, oh, maybe this is a message. I'm not a teacher. I'm not supposed to do this. I was like, you know what? Wait a minute. No, no. I'm 54 years old, and I know, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know what happens to me when I disown teacher. I suffer. And there have been a number of saboteurs that have showed up seemingly as energy outside of me. People who have challenged my creations, people who have invented my motives. And none of these are like big traumatic things in a sense, but in another sense, if they're triggering me, they're showing me something, right? So my invitation is to ask you to reflect inside. What is your sweet dream? What is your soul calling? What is your mission that you're feeling called to? And where is the saboteur showing up? So just notice that, like for you, let's say it's artist, right? And you say, all right, I'm going to be an artist. And then I want to be an artist, and you have a show and you don't sell anything, or someone reviews something of yours or makes comments that it's crappy or whatever. You could read that as, oh, I'm imagining things. I'm not really an artist. Or you could read it as, I'm really afraid to step up as an artist. And that's my saboteur reflecting that on the outside. So I want to take this deeper now, and I want to take this into the non-dualism principles. Everything out there is simply showing us what's in here. That's not flowery language. That's fact. That's literally true. Everything we are experiencing in the outside world, as well as what we're experiencing in here, if we have health things or physical things or whatever, they are all showing us parts of ourselves. And the things that are uncomfortable are showing us the things that we don't want to look at, the things hidden in our shadow. Sometimes those are gifts. Oftentimes they're hard things, difficult things. So when we really, really, really want to heal, step in, take ownership of our lives, and become empowered, awakened, activated as pillars of light for this new earth, then what we begin to understand is that there is no blaming other problems out there. Oh, that person is insulting me. Oh, that person is trying to rip me off. Oh, this sickness is inhibiting me. What we do is we say, what is that or this showing me about what's in me that I haven't wanted to look at, that is asking to be seen, clear, owned, and cleared right now? And this is a very, very challenging thing, especially if we're facing serious health issues or a serious conflict, like an ugly divorce, let's say, or a serious problem with a parent where it's like, hey, man, come on. I was born into a family where I was abused as a child. Don't tell me I asked for that. No, I'm not telling you asked for that. But we are eternal beings. And if we came into this life as a frequency match for difficulty, then a part of our soul, or our soul, was asking to clear it in this life, to really look at what's the frequency match in me that says I deserve to be undervalued or abused. That's not even the right way to say it, because we're talking about this at a soul or an evolutionary level, not at a personality level. No little child asks to be abused. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when we become adults and we really want to heal and clear and empower ourselves, we have to look at all of the stuff that's out there or in here and say, what is hidden that needs to be revealed, that I don't want to look at, that I am a frequency match to? And it could be from another incarnation. It might not be from this incarnation. It could be like, wow, on an incarnational level, my soul said, I'm tired of living lives where I consider myself worthless. And so we come in not with a family that praises us necessarily, but one that actually treats us as less than valuable, so that we can see, whoa, I've projected outside of myself these things that I don't want to look at, and now I'm forced to look at them because they are so painful. I cannot ignore them. So this is deep work, and this is the kind of thing that is not for the spiritual dabbler. It's not for the spiritual dilettante. When we really begin to understand that every single thing we are experiencing is a projection of what is inside of us, maybe at a soul level, not at a personality ego level, but if we are a frequency match for it, then we have to take 100% personal responsibility for every aspect of our lives. And that sounds nice, and actually when we do it, it is nice, and it also means after incarnations, perhaps, and certainly this lifetime of indoctrination into blaming everything outside there and being disempowered at a very deep level, it means a lot of work. It means a lot of soul searching and raw self-honesty. And it's not work that we do alone. It really isn't. Personally, myself and many people I know, my go-to practice is A Course in Miracles. And I know that there are other non-dual teachings. If the East has some tremendous traditions of non-dualism, where we really start to look at everything out there is being generated from in here. So I started this video by saying that I wanted to make a confession. And the confession is that I recognize now that all that resistance to showing up and making videos and all of the stories I told myself about how I'm not needed because other people are saying it more clearly than I am, and I'm not ready to say it yet because I can't say it clear enough, and there are other people who can say it much more clearly than me. All of that is just resistance to actually doing what I came here to do and being who I came here to be. So I'm really looking deeply at that. I know I have a ways to go before I can sort of communicate some of the guidance that I'm receiving now, some of the growth edges that I'm going through, to communicate them in a really, really clear and concise way. And still, I know that I have to step up and show up, because even if there's one person who gets this message, then I've done my part. So with that, I'm going to sign off for now, I think, but I just want to check in and notice if there's anything else that needs to be shared. Again, a question or a request or an invitation to sit with yourself and ask, look for that part of your life that's niggling you, that's bothering you, that's maybe a real problem, something that's really difficult. And courageously, lovingly to yourself, not in an abusive way to yourself, lovingly ask yourself, where am I a frequency match to this? And where within me am I denying this thing that I don't want to look at? You know, this piece of this belief that perhaps I'm not worthy, or I have to overgive in order to be loved, or I'm an evil person, I should be punished, or fill in the blank based on what's showing up in your field. And not in a blaming way, because this is not about blame. We are all coming to a place where we really have to recognize that the world out there is a projection of what's in here. And when we really own it and we really heal it, then we can be the frequency of love we want to be. But as long as some people are bad and some people are good in that dualism, we will continue to live in a world where there's bad and there's good, and we're creating it all. So when we believe that someone out there is bad, that person's bad, that person deserves punishment, they should be blah, 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 we are uploading to the collective consciousness hate, judgment, blame, victimization, etc. But when we own it, when we really own it, we say, wow, I'm going to love myself through this, and oh, this hurts a lot, and I'm going to really look at, where am I a vibrational match to this judgment I am receiving by someone else? and love it and come to a place of understanding of the way in which we are creating it. Then we can upload something different to the collective. We can upload empowerment that comes when we take responsibility for the world as we see it, collectively and personally. So, anything else? If this makes sense to you, I'd love a thumbs up or a heart. Please share it. If it doesn't make sense, share a comment. If you feel the need to judge, hate, or attack what I'm saying, I invite you to look within and see where you're being triggered, what's triggering you. And reach out to me if you are interested in some of the ways that I work with people. I've got a retreat coming up in Thailand in February. Got a few more spots. If you're a woman and you're interested in feminine empowered leadership, then the spiritual circling, that kind of leadership, then reach out to me and we can talk. We can have a little conversation. All right, my dears, wishing you all much love and bright blessings until the next time I overcome my resistance and make a video, which hopefully will be very soon. Mwah. Much love to you all.